Welcome to the town of Stuart, Virginia. Right at Junction 58, you're going to see these two street markers. Depending on the way you come from, turn right or left onto Performance Drive is the Wood Brothers Racing Museum. Nestled in the beautiful hills of Stuart, Virginia, on a hill, a Glenwood company. I've never heard that before. Finally open. When I was here before, they were not open. Yay! The hours are 9 a.m. to noon and closed for an hour. They reopen at 1 to 4, closed on Saturday and Sunday. And that's probably why it was closed when I was by here, and that, and I think COVID as well. So let's go on in and see what we can see. And I understand there was no charge for this experience, which to me is shocking. And oh my goodness, I'm just getting chills standing here. Dear Lord in heaven. Wow. I mean, you're speechless. Speechless. Everybody that watches my show knows I'm a talker. And, well, there's not much more I can say. These iconic drivers. Wow. I will come back to that room later because I want to view those trophies. Oh, dear Lord in heaven. Well, they better pat me down before I leave. All these iconic and legendary. Oh, there it is. They're definitely going to pat me down. I don't know how am I going to get that case in my car with all these with all these die-cast. I'll be doing a show on die-cast later. The ones I have, I think I have about, now that I got my dad's collection of model cars between die-cast and model cars, I've probably got about 500. And this right here, that is a definite collection I would not mind having. Oh, what is that, Queens? Those are amazing. In memory of, wow, all the legends that have since passed, winning helmets. This right here is Michigan, 1978. And that's Darrell, the outside. No, 79, sorry. Darrell, Richard, Buddy Baker, who won the race, and Neil Bonnet. And that would be June. I can tell by the way the sun's setting there in the sky. August, the sun is a little further back behind the grandstands. So I was at that race. Neil did not win, but I witnessed David win 4 of his races at Michigan. And oh man, there's some more. There's some more die-cast I need to get my hands on. It's funny I became a Richard Petty fan at that time in 1974, my first ever race. But that's the first car I ever saw go by. Maybe if I saw David's car go by. Of course, my favorite color is orange. So maybe that's what attracted me to it. Here's the iconic cars that the Wood Brothers have fielded. Sorry about the reflection in the glass. I was going to say some of the winning cars, but Neil didn't win the second time around in those cars. 007, interesting. This is when it gets difficult with the die-cast because, in the 70s you used to be able to kind of keep track of who was driving what because the sponsor stayed all year, but now you have multiple sponsors, multiple races now, and it's real hard to keep up. There's Michael Waltrip winning the All-Star race that day. We were there for the ARCA race, one of the hottest events I had ever attended. I actually left early because I was roasting. My stepbrother had come with, and the heat was unbearable. So we left, and we went back to his place, which was in Maiden, thank God, and watched the All-Star race from there. There's Neil Bonnet at Michigan. What a nice man. Neil Bonnet was such a terrific young man. Well, I shouldn't say young, he's older than me. But what an amazing person. Personable, knowledgeable, polite. Now that's a trophy. David Pearson at Michigan. Pure Pit Club. Interesting. I wonder if that was before. Oh, that was North Carolina Motor Speedway. Was at this race, but I was stationed turn 2, working for the scene. I didn't get to see the finish until later, but I heard it on the radio, on my radio there. These iconic photos. People say, oh, the cars are built by Holman and Moody. Well, yeah, everything Ford was Holman and Moody, including the Wood Brothers. They were the factory. They were it. I remember these uniforms here on the Wood Brothers, at least photos. Ontario. It is long gone. Oh, wow. These collages are so neat. I always loved this photo from Martinsville. The Superstars from 1976. This poster right here is for sale in Daytona at it's still there. It's a souvenir place, and it's quite expensive, but it is still for sale. It's on A1A down there on the ocean. It's a big 2-level building, and go grab yourself one if you can. I have seen this before. I did have that t-shirt at one time. It's funny, Richard Petty and David Pearson were fierce rivals, but they were friendly rivals. So I guess at the time I didn't mind being a Pearson fan because, they weren't beating on each other like these kids do today. And folks, I appreciate you tuning into Stock Car Facts here. I've always wanted to be at this museum, and now I can bring you to it as well. Again, more die-cast. Trevor Bayne. I assume that's his. I don't think that's his Daytona 500 winning uniform. I think it was black, wasn't it? Motor Trend magazine. Well, Dan Gurney won enough of those Motor Trend Riverside races, didn't he? I'm not sure what these are. Helmets wrapped in helmet bags, maybe? I remember these from, I don't know where I saw them first, but I do remember these because remember they were, at the time there was no die-cast kind of cut that they would use. Oh, neat. Can you explain me? Leonard still building carburetors. Whew. Wow, that manifold is small. Wow. My goodness. Commemorative coins. Just overheard somebody say that. Beautiful car. Just white and red and gold. It just works.
Challenge coin usually when the generals would meet someone and shake their hand. There would be a coin in there for whoever. Okay. For the Woodstock, it was the coolest thing ever. So we need to do that. We started putting them out. So, And we keep them a year behind, so usually if you meet one in the woods at the track or somewhere, they may shake your hand and give you one. Otherwise, you can buy them, you know.
So we got them by handshake, so.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, we got two of them.
yeah, the same, yeah.
5 years ago, so.
Wonderful.
It is,
Was
yeah.
16. Yeah.
I would say definitely come by and order some souvenirs since they don't charge you to come in here.
No, we don't have to 18.
It's better than nothing.
They're really pretty.
Oh, they are. How many do you make?
The 1965, 66 Indy 500 that the Woods pitted and helped win the race. I mean, Ford was not screwing around that day. They wanted to win that race. I mean, that car was fast enough already. But they wanted to make sure that they won the race. John Woods' shelf. Interesting.
Okay, we'll be back in about 5 years.
Sounds great. Safe travels.
Very neat. All the old crew uniforms. That's the way to display it. Kind of like angled. Okay. Warner Hodgdon. National Engineering. Definitely remember that. He and Neil Bonnet definitely had hitched their wagon to each other in 79, 80, 81, and 82. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm glad somebody had the foresight to be able to save at least one crew uniform. Because sometimes, people, get rid of things that they think are, outdated. Haha, loving cups that they don't really give out anymore. Folks, thanks for watching. I didn't know where to start and where to begin, and again the glass is reflecting the light in me, but you really can see some of these neat artifacts. These almost look like Pinewood Derby trophies. Let's see. 1957 convertible race. Whoa. That tire come off? Wow. Glenn was quite the driver in his own right. He won 4 cup races and won a bunch of convertible races, bunch of modified races. Sorry, folks, I can't imagine coming out of these hills. I'm a city boy, and our roads are gridded. I'm outside of Detroit, and you can see around corners because there really aren't any. You go straight, north, south, east, west. You go straight, and these gentlemen, has anybody driven 58 here? Oh my goodness. No thanks. I mean, they're under construction now, and try not to go too fast so you folks can take a look at this. The road's under construction right now, and I can't imagine driving a hauler out of this region. How many times a year? Maybe that's why they didn't run the full schedule. There we are. Victory Lane at Michigan, 1981. This guy is skinny. Took about 4 of those to get me in it. Michigan. This is the All-Star Race photos. Never thought of putting my photos in like a poster holder. It's a good idea. I know some places sell them and get rid of them. 43 races David Pearson won for the Wood Brothers. And just think about how iconic that is. There's Warner Hodgdon's wife. Forget her name. Just think how iconic that is. David Pearson drove 43 times for the Wood Brothers and won. And he had 105 wins, so almost half of his wins came driving for these guys. And the Wood brothers just won 100. And 43 of those wins came with David Pearson at the wheel. I mean, one of the most iconic pairings of all time. A lot of these are done by my mentor, David Shobat. I can just tell by his photos now. There's Warner Hodgson. Some of these awards, banquets, and celebrations. There's when we visited the White House. Oh my, that's what, 68? When the Wood brothers won at Martinsville. The only time they won at Martinsville, just right down the road, really. I'm sorry, I'm a picture guy, obviously, because visual guy. So, taking a few minutes to look over some of these iconic photos. Guess I'm going backwards, but folks don't mind, do you? But let's save the best for last, I guess. All the fans that run around going, I like the old days. Oh, okay, here's some old days photos. Again, I'm trying not to go too fast, but you can always, pause the video. Picture, oh, looks like their friend file here. So I know some of these guys didn't drive for them. I don't think Dave Marcus drove for Wood, and neither did James Hilton or Dick Brooks that I know of. Larry Frank didn't, but like I say, this must be the friend Sal Tavella. Got some of these USAC guys in here. Bill Blair, he still shows up for Stocks for Tots. Curtis Turner. Filthy. Wow. How in the world? Talk about an icon. Just think if Curtis would have drove a little more for the Wood brothers, how much they could have done together. But Curtis only won one race driving for these guys, believe it or not. Believe it or not. Some of these iconic names. Dick Jocelyn. Wow. That's crazy. Bill Lutz. Wow. Joe Eubanks. Again, sorry folks for the glare. Jack Ingram. Well, he's part of these hills, and so's the Wood brothers. Western end of the Appalachians here. Sorry, the first few times out, sorry about my finger there. First few of these arms didn't swing. Now they are, they're clunking. Sorry, folks. I started, I want to finish them all. Sonny Hutchins. What a legendary name from the area. Perk Brown, Paul Radford. Sounds like a horror movie there. The door creaking. I've seen a lot of old photos, but I've not seen all these. Wow. These are really great. Pete Rose. You can tell who I admire more. Cotton Owens. Oh my goodness. When Glenn was ruling Bowman Gray and that offset chassis he had where he sat almost in the back seat. What a neat shot that is. And last but not least, wow, the wood chopper. Just think of the people who driven these cars. Ricky Rudd, Ken Schrader, Neil Bonnet. Dan Gurney. Whew. Just crazy. I'm sure some of these people would beg to drive these cars. Parts and pieces, which, some of this stuff I don't even know what it is. Good thing I have it labeled. And again, some more souvenirs. I'll have to see if they have my size. Probably not. That was part 1 in the quote-unquote house that Glenn built. So please come back next Tuesday at noon for part 2. And thanks for tuning in.